watching Let's Chat.
Bad. I promise it's all going to be fine. Okay?
You think so?
I want y'all to meet somebody here. This is Cheryl Smith, and Cheryl is joining us alongside Curtis Ottinger, who is the managing partner at Heritage Funeral Home and Cremation Services out in East Brainerd.
Hey,
Curtis,
Chip, good to see you again,
Hi,
man.
Miss Cheryl.
Hi.
Give me another hug, baby. That was so good. I want another. Tell me what you guys are doing. I know every Wednesday we're doing a grief counseling workshop, which at some point all of us are going to need.
We do, Chip. We do. It's called Journey of Hope, and it's no charge to anyone in our community that's had a loss. We meet every Wednesday night, 6:30, and we do the classes at Graceworks Church. It's a 6-week class, and it's hosted by our grief counselor, Allison Barron.
I know Allison.
You know
quite
Allison
well.
very
I do
well.
indeed.
Yes, wonderful lady.
Now, how did you get Miss Cheryl to come along here and get involved with this? Cheryl, tell me your story.
I think that he was half asleep when he asked me.
So tell me how you play into this.
Well, I happened to lose my husband, and I used Heritage Funeral Home
Right.
because it was definitely the best one that I went to.
Sure.
And you become family there. But even though you think that you can handle grief and loss of a spouse and so forth,
You can't.
you
Not without
can't.
help.
And everyone is so different. You know, the journey of hope or the grief that you experience is as different as people are. And then there's all different kinds of loss. There's 43 kinds of loss
Sure.
listed in the little workshop. But Allison is a wonderful, wonderful group leader. It's an interactive workshop, but she will never call you out
Right.
or ask you to say anything that you would be uncomfortable saying.
Curtis, how did you come up with the idea of putting something like this together?
I've wanted to do this for years, and when Allison has not always done this.
No, she hasn't.
No, and when I found out a couple of years ago that Allison was doing this, I just gave her a call. We met. Timing is everything, and we met. It was a God thing for this to happen for us. It was just timing.
Allison
everything.
is very blessed at dealing with people like that. She worked
amazing.
for quite a while with Hearth Hospice here in town and several
still
other
does. She
still does.
related
Yes.
enterprises like
Yes.
that, if you will.
Yes.
You got a good one in Allison
We do.
Barron.
We do.
Allison, you need to come down and see us. Where do you start on this journey of hope? What's the first thing you hear when you're walking into class number 1?
Well, I think that what you do is you just come and you just sit down and you just listen, and coming in that you're going to be with people that share the same thing that you're going through. You're not alone. That's the main thing you need to know. You're not alone, and
You sure do feel that way.
you do.
You do.
and that's
That was the first thing I learned,
Yeah,
was
of
that I
course.
wasn't alone.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
Other people have gone through this. and-
Whether you've lost a spouse or a parent,
That's
you can be
right.
surrounded by 24 family members and 1,000 friends, but there's still that feeling of being alone.
that's right.
Absolutely.
And you folks help.
And a lot of
Overcome
people, you do get somehow. Some people tend to get, for lack of a better word, get stuck
Yeah.
in a particular area of grief, and that's okay. You will get past it at some point, and that's okay too.
It's okay to not be okay.
It's okay to not be okay. You're
Very
exactly
good.
right, Cheryl.
Very good.
And that's part of the class that we
Right.
talk about.
Right.
And it's okay.
And you have these stages of grief, but I got stuck on number 2, which was the reality.
Yeah.
Sure.
It just took me forever to realize.
And
that.
Chip, one thing I will share, when my brother died a couple of years ago, I went to the class, I think with Cheryl.
I know, you
And,
did, and you said you couldn't sleep that night.
No, and I realized as a funeral director, when I went through that with the class, I had to deal with that too. There are things that everybody has a
Sure.
story. We all go through it. We're human, and we all deal with grief, and we all deal with grief in a different
different
way.
way.
We certainly
And
do.
it's okay to hurt. It's okay to grieve. It's part of being human.
Curtis, we are up against the clock. We've got to run. I want to have you guys come back and talk
Thanks,
more
Chip.
about this
We
in the
appreciate
future.
you.
Cheryl, it was so wonderful meeting you. Thank you very much.
Thank
I'm sorry for your loss, but I appreciate you sharing.
Thank you.
We have
Glad to.
more of Let's Chat coming up after this.